We are now live. I'm assuming things are happening over here. So I don't know. It may be a couple seconds still until we're honestly live or not. I'm not. Oh no. All right.
It's live on.
All right. I'm just going in faith that we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, Moxie sisters and brothers too, because I know we have some guys in here too. I am Cheryl Kaiser, your Moxie life coach and photographer, and my co-host and awesome person for our new Morning Cup of Moxie that happens every Monday. We're now taking to the airwaves, to the world here on the page, is Donna Zaremba. And she is a Moxie sister and one of my BFFs. And so Donna, tell us a little bit about who you are, why you're here, and anything else you care to share.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Cheryl. It has been a long time coming. I think, how Cheryl and I got started. We were both sharing a space in Carbondale. She was the magnificent photographer that she is, and she was opening her second location, and this person walked into her store wanting to know if she needed help or needed somebody answering phones, and that I could sit there and make my jewelry. And that was the start of Art Strands in Carbondale. So we worked together. We shared a space. We helped each other grow and get to where we're going. And today is a new day. It's a new opportunity. There are great things happening. I'm looking forward to I'm not going to say maybe is not a good word. I am definitely going to resurrect Art Strands and do my rosaries again and take this awesome opportunity that God has given us. Amen to that.
Amen. Yeah, you and I have an interesting history, because I wasn't always so open to change, and when Donna announced to me that, like, I think I could turn part of your second studio here in Carbondale, because I was still running two at the time. I think I could turn part of this into my jewelry store. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And I didn't even want this poor woman to put like little velvet necks of samples like in the window, because I was like so fearful that I wouldn't be seen or I'd be well overshadowed by this awesome person. And anyway, so yeah, we have a lot of funny stories, and we've been through up and down. But what's interesting is looking back, throughout our lives, and your life, my life, and anybody who's choosing to watch, looking back through your life, whether it's short term or long term, and seeing, like, connecting the dots, like, who knew that day when I walked into that closed children's shoe store that was just full of chaos and clutter, and like literally I had to draft my daughter to help me take down the shelves in the stock room. Who knew that, like, our journey as in our friendship would go from here to here to here to here. And now you're down in Houston doing amazing things, and looking at, there's always a season of reinvention to some extent. But like, when you look back and connect the dots, it's like, we wouldn't be here if we weren't there, and then you can kind of start and see God's hand. I feel like I'm yelling. I'm sorry. Like, am I yelling at you?
I know.
I'm just so excited.
We haven't seen each other in years.
Yeah, right. And I'm not used to doing like these things sitting at my desk either. I'm used to sitting like in the living room and stuff, but with streaming and everything else, I need the power of my big computer. But anyway, looking back and just connecting the dots, like in our friendship, I can look back sometimes and connect the dots in my week or my month or even within this year, and see like God's hand in it, or even sometimes just a God wink, like, hey, I got you. Like, you thought this was going to be awful, but look, because of that, you did this. So I think that helps shape our perspective on not just who we are and how we got here, but even looking ahead. So I don't know, do you agree? Like, what do you think?
Oh, totally agree. I know. Um, you know, when I told people, okay,
When you start
Cheryl,
talking, I get scared.
right, Cheryl and I are going to do this, and they're like, "Are you sure you can get up that early in the morning?" And and to your tribute, Cheryl, to your tribute, you never questioned me getting up in the morning and showing up. I would always show up for you, you know. But but yeah, I am a night owl, so mornings do not normally work for me.
The bets are still being taken for if
I
this is
know,
going to
I
continue
know.
or not.
I'm working on that. I'm
So
working
if there's
on
1 week, folks, that it's just me, you know, like start messaging her. It's get your butt out of bed.
it.
But I don't doubt. I mean, we've always done a lot. You know, you do that for friends, whatever it takes.
This is exciting. And you know, with this, gosh, 2020 has had some trials and tribulations and ups and downs and pandemics and hurricanes and fires and floods, and oh my goodness, are we being tested. We are definitely being tested, but to see all the opportunities around us and to look at this time as a reconnection to God and to our faith and to our purpose and what we want to do, and I think there are new avenues that are opening up for a lot of people,
Mhm.
all the people. They just need to, you just need to be aware of it and to look and see how God shows up in your life.
Because even out of hardship and everything, like good things come. And um, there, I have seen in the news and on various online areas, like the innovation. You know, people because they're in quarantine have started nonprofits. And a friend that I have in our coaching group, uh, he had just started a brand new business. Uh, Creating dream vacations for people, like not a travel agent, but creating the experience for people. And then like the pandemic hit. So no one's traveling. But in that time, he created a way to pass on goodwill, goodwill, I think he called it, where he put out there one of the fundraising things, and the money he collects, he then tips to a frontline worker or a server or someone that he resonates with in the moment. And he tipped like a hairdresser $1,000, and she was blown away. And he says, "That's not from me. That's from all these people that want to support the people that are impacted," and things like that. So it's interesting to see that, okay, in one hand, you know, his business, he could have been very discouraged that this brand new business he was just going to start to launch, you know, he couldn't, but yet there was good things that came from that because he had time to think of more ideas and strategies and things. But also this innovation came. And I mean, if you even think back, not that I was there, but I understand from the Great Depression, companies like Kellogg's started, you know, in the face of, you know, one of the other worst times in our history. So lots of innovation can come from, you know, hardship, and you know, even in good times we can still have difficulties. So but it's seeing how God's moving through a lot of this, and then being excited about the possibilities ahead. And I think that's one of the things I'm very passionate about, are, you know, helping people see possibilities and you know, a positive outlook, and that God's got this. And I think one of the perfect things this morning, before Donna and I signed on, I'm like super stressed that the technology is going to come together, that I wouldn't sound like some kind of baffling fool, that we'd have to, like, all these things, right? Because that's the enemy working in my head, because, you know, when you're in your head, you're in a bad neighborhood. And so I'm texting, and then I realized, you know what? Those are all the areas I'm not trusting that God's got this. You know?
Right?
So just
Oh,
stop it.
Exactly.
So I looked in the mirror and I'm like, just stop it. Okay, just stop it. Take a deep breath. It's all good. So,
It's good. Yes. Yes, it is.
um, but you've had quite a journey over the years, and you picked up your life and moved to Pennsylvania, and then 14 years later, you picked up your life and moved back home to Houston. And even within this year and everything else, have you seen, like, when you look back, have you seen God's work like sprinkled through this?
Absolutely. I mean, the last 5 years have been very trying, very healing, very eye-opening for me. I'm like, he's like, all right, it's time for you to stand on your own, to develop your moxie, and to trust that I have you. And I've had to really, gosh, reach down deep inside and look to God, to see him in my life. And the more that I reached out for him, the more he reached back to me through people and opportunities. And I've been working at Vacations to Go and doing travel, and over these last few years that have really helped to stabilize me and what I was doing in my life. And still knowing that God has a direction, and trying to follow that direction and what's next in my life, and to stay open. And I've been doing a lot of journaling, and, like I said, just a lot of soul searching, and being open and aware to how God is reaching back and giving me these opportunities to keep going and to grow and to heal my life. I needed healing in my life, and so it's just been such these last, I'd say, over the course of the year. It's been, even with the pandemic, it's been a little bit of a breath. I say a little bit, it's been a breath of fresh air. It has, to know he's got me, to know he's got my back, to get that relationship with him um, developed and stronger, and trusting, like you said, just trusting he's got me, and just kind of get out there and go do it and see what the world has to offer. And so, but that's a hard thing to do. I have to say, it is a hard
It
thing
is.
to do, that leap of faith, and
Just
there's
simply
not
saying
that.
yes.
Yes, yes, just to get out there and do it. So I've slowly been inching my way out. I want to say on the ledge, but it's really not on the ledge, but it feels like it's a ledge.
When in 2013, when I sold my ginormous studio building, it was really scary because I always had like that next step where I was going to go. Like I always knew what direction I was heading in, and suddenly, like, I made this decision. It happened super fast, and I was just like, ah, and and then all of a sudden it hit me that it's kind of exciting when there's a sense of unknown, because it means you're open to anything happening. Like you're not pigeonholing what has to happen. And I remember people saying, well, where are we going to find you now? And I'm like, you know what? You're going to find me everywhere. Where do you need me? I'll be there. And that led to, the reinvention of my photography business, and then of course to coaching, and here we are. But I look back and I see all the points in time where it's like, okay, I couldn't be here today having this interview, like, co-hosting, I should say, with you, if, like, I can look all the way back. If I didn't go on this one retreat in 2011, my photography business, I can attribute that to one person here in Scranton in 1994, or maybe before that. No, it was before that, 1991. So, I mean, it's just so much fun to go back and connect the dots. But to look back and see, when you start seeing yourself like in photographs and everything, I don't know about you, it's like, oh, there's a picture of me from 5 years ago. And when you get past the, wow, look how thin I was, or look how young I looked, or, oh, look at that hair. you know, I start to think about where I was when that photograph was taken, and then where I am now. And it sort of gives me a new perspective, just looking in the mirror saying, okay, a few more wrinkles, a few more gray roots, you know, I have to color
Oh,
another day or two, but,
oh my,
you know, but it gives you kind of a new perspective. It's like, I earned every gray hair that I'm hiding, you know?
I'm not hiding mine anymore.
I can't do that.
Bye.
I would be Snow White if I didn't, which brings on a lot of material about the seven dwarfs and a lot of jokes. So we'll not go with the Snow White. But anyway, now a year ago I started doing Life Vision Journey experiences, and Donna, you were my very first model, and I'm gonna attempt to screen share here. Yes, I know. Oh, screen share. Okay. So hopefully all of you can see this picture of Donna. And this was part of her image box that she received, and a slide, like a video, an empowering video. And so these, you know, one of the many images in her image box that, you know, she uses for reflection and journaling and so forth. But I love this image. And you've talked to me in the past about what it means to you. So what do you and who do you see in this?
Oh, wow. You know, when we
Totally
did
on
that,
the spot.
oh my goodness, we had we had such a good time doing that. And it, you know, Cheryl, you really mirror myself back to me. And because a lot of times I couldn't see myself, but when you came back with these pictures with the scripture on them, and I think I sat there and watched it and just cried, because it's like, oh, there I am. There I am. That's me, you know? It's like, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing good. I'm walking this journey, and yes, it's been hard at times, and it's like that moment that you captured right there was like, I finally saw the light, that that at the end of this dark tunnel that I was in, everything was coming to be, everything was happening. I was opening up. The more I opened up, the more I connected with God, the more things kept happening for me, and 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 trusting that he is always there, not just there in the moments that we need him, or the moments that we don't even know he's there all the time,
Can I,
all the and this and the photographs that you took of me, it helps remind me of that. It reminds me of of my joy. I was looking for my joy. And the word for this year for me has been grace. And I've been walking through that grace with these pictures, and utilizing the pictures and the scriptures to just help, I don't want to say stabilize, but help encourage and motivate me to keep moving forward, to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And for me, it's about vision. So in these last 5 years, I couldn't see what he had in store for me. I had to blindly trust that the next step I took, he was going to be there, and it was going to be what I needed to do. In the past, I've always seen the vision and moved toward the vision. With this, it's been trusting that he's got a vision and a purpose for me. I just had to keep moving through it. And the life vision journey helped me see that the steps I've been taking and the things that I've been through have been worth it, and that he's been there in my life.
I think I love this one because you're
Oh,
laughing, and so, and let me see, I'm not sure what, oh, and there, yeah, these are just a few of the ones from your, and then we did the
one of my
video, and
favorites.
yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
So, all right, let me stop the share. So he's got this, we've got this. I encourage all of us in this year that we're all waiting to have end, to connect some of our own dots and see, you know, what has come from it, the good things. I look forward to having people post what dots can you connect, what can you see of where you are today, or something that's occurred or whatever, in
Absolutely.
whatever, and see where it's like, okay, now it makes sense. And what's exciting to me is someday, because I know there are a lot of things that, you know, we sit there and go, okay, I have no idea what the meaning of this is, like, what the heck? But there are things I know we're not meant to see yet, but someday, you know, we're going to look down on our lives and see all those dots and be like, oh, so, you know, kind of like the unknowing when I sold my building and what was next and everything else. There's like that excitement of what could be next. And I think as we proceed through the rest of this year and into 2021, like to open up to the excitement and of what is possible and what our life vision journey could be, possibly, in spite of whatever other BS world is throwing around right now.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, share with us what's going on in your life, what trials that you have, what joys, what dots, for what Cheryl said, what dots, you know, God has presented to you, what steps you're taking, and how he is giving you opportunities in this time. I think we all need to stay positive, stay motivated, stay connected, and trust that God's got us.
we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we raise our Moxie mugs to have an awesome week. Let us know what you need, what you and whatever's going on. Keep us posted. If you're in the Moxie Sisterhood group, we can continue conversation more deeply there. And if you have any questions, you know where to find us right here. So have an awesome week and cheers.
Cheers to you. Celebrate you. Enjoy your days, and stay in contact with us. Let us know what challenges you're facing today and this week, and let's talk about them, and let's help each other move through.
Cheers, Donna. To our first tink tink.